you want to know my favorite part about the horror community? Inclusion. Everyone is allowed to be involved, and I mean everyone. A world where people of all walks and talks can come together and share their passion. Political parties, social issues, sports fandom, everybody has a side, but they no longer matter here, because one thing I can assure you, I can find you the most staunch Republican, sit him on a couch with a bleeding-hearted, blue-haired social justice warrior, and I guarantee they can find a horror movie they both like. Can't you see it, folks? A Yankees fan with a die-hard Red Sox fan just enjoying the shit out of life while watching Black Christmas. This is what makes the horror community so great. Its need to be inclusive. And that's what you guys have done for us. The sheer amount of engagement and enthusiasm you guys have given us this season is beyond humbling. Watching fans pick sides for their favorite member of the Splat Pack has been kind of entertaining, and to be honest, the audience score is neck and neck. But we still have some business to do. We have one more movie from Rob Zombie, his 2016 horror thriller, 31. Rob put his pedal to the brutality metal for this one, and there's no shortage of carnage. So this is it. One more movie, one more rating. Next week, we're gonna go over the scores and crown a winner on a special episode of Celebration. But for now, let's see how the score breaks down in this murder world of a movie. Without any further introduction, here is our take on Rob Zombie's 31. Boom! Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey. And back again for another week, clapping them cheeks, the best producer in the whole wide world, and one of my brothers and best friends, and I love him, Mr. Ozark Mark. What's going on down there, buddy?
Hello. It's a pleasure to see you again. 1, 2, 3, and the place to be. Sloppy Horror Podcast is the place to be right now, in this moment in time, going through your eardrums, through your ear canals, into your brain, and I'm here with you to talk about the final piece of the Splat Pack battle here. We got Mr. Robert Zombie coming up here. And we chose... what movie?
The movie we chose, folks, is 31. And the reason I kind of like this, it's one of those... the two Rob Zombie pictures we picked for this season, a lot of people are saying... I've gotten a few comments where people have said, hey... You know, I feel like this season has been unfavorably stacked towards Eli Roth's way. And maybe so, but if we look in this sense, we've only covered, we've never covered any Eli Roth movie, so we had to pick something, and there were a few I left out, obviously. I mean, you left out Cabin Fever, which is a great movie. But the thing why I picked these movies with Rob, or why I thought they would be great, because they're standalone. You see Lords of Salem, you don't need to see anything, there's no post-credit trailers, you don't have to know the backstory, you don't have to look for cameo, it's not that at all. It's just a random horror movie. And sometimes when I look at a movie, folks, if I were to look at a movie, I'm not just looking at this of its connection, because to be honest, they lose me with that. They're like, hey, Tobey Maguire's in the Spider-Man. He was in the first one. I know, I've seen it. We were alive for that. I remember. I don't need this. I don't need that connection. And I understand a lot of people like that for, cinematic pleasures, but I don't want that. I'm thinking of more along the lines, if you're wandering down the street in New York City and you just pass the theater and you go in by yourself and watch a movie, would this serve a purpose? Would this just be a random picture that would stick to you? Would you remember it kind of aspect more? I think sometimes people look at a horror movie and rate it as it franchisable. Like, can I make another one? Can this guy be, a guy on t-shirts? Can I put him on coffee mugs? What's part 2 going to be? And I really appreciate these standalone films, so we picked 31 to conclude this. Now, usually we do like to give a nice little beautiful synopsis, but before we do, folks, I will like to mention Sloppy Horror Podcast is a advertisement-free show. We will never water down our show with meaningless plugs just because that's not who we are. If we were to ever work with somebody, it would mean something, or they would be relevant to us. So, what we do, folks, is we offer you guys bonus content. And that bonus content is on patreon.com/sloppyhorror. For a very small fee, you can enjoy all these bonus episodes we release once a week. And it's a way for us to keep the lights on and entertain you folks who eat up through all this regular content. All right. So we got these little greetings out the way, Mark. Can I ask you this first? Was this your first time? No, this wasn't your first time seeing 31. I believe you've seen this. Yeah.
Yeah. I was excited about it. I remember when this first came out. When it was coming out, I remember seeing the trailer. I thought it was going to be more heavily clown-based.
Me too.
Than it was. I think a lot of people are disappointed in that aspect of it, and I think the clowns in it kind of disappointed. But, all in all, I still enjoyed it.
As clowns, they are disappointing. But as characters, they're definitely very interesting. Once again, I mean, I'm not going to, beat people's head with this, this message here. But obviously, we always state that Rob is a very good caster. He pulls people from all kinds of horror movies. So if you are, new to our show, this is the first episode, I really will encourage you. Any one of his movies, just run your finger down the cast list and stop at whatever one you want. Look them up. Guarantee there was in some pretty big, significant horror movies. And, that's kind of neat to me. And some people are like, well, okay, well, you just pick random people, though. It's like, look here. The horror movies that work are when you don't generally have A-plus actors in that position. Because if it's Mark Wahlberg, it's Mark Wahlberg. He's not going to die. Like, that's Mark Wahlberg. Like, you already have preconceived notions about this person. They're like, that's The Rock. He's not gonna die. It's The Rock, man. Or even if he dies, it's The Rock. If it's just a random person, but they're a good actor, you're like, I identify with this person. It's something new. It's a new relationship you're getting into, and I appreciate that with him. So he'll just, pick these people out from the horror community. And if you didn't know horror movies and you were to watch one of his movies, you would be like, I don't know who the hell any of these people are. 100%. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's many. When he uses Courtney Gaines, I think some people recognize him as Malachi from Children of the Corn. He's kind of hard to, But for me, man, I can't just state it enough. That makes me so happy when I'm watching his pictures because I just see all these different people where you're like, I want to be a fly on the wall when these movies are being made because I feel like it was a lot of fun. Like these guys were having a blast, and you're bringing something to the table. I don't know about you. But if I was going hunting, or if I needed somebody to help protect my life, I would much rather somebody that has experience, who has done it before, versus somebody who hasn't. So, I don't know, man. It takes one to know one kind of deal.
It kind of makes sense. I like your little philosophy there.
I love Richard Brake as well, who plays Doomhead. He's in quite a few things. That guy is awesome.
Dude, yeah, he makes the movie for sure.
That little monologue at the beginning, bro. Oh.
Monologue before all of his monologues. But the beginning one is badass. Like, that's more reason if you don't enjoy the movie, you at least enjoy his beginning monologue.
If you really look deep into him as a character, because that's the one thing people don't give Rob enough credit for. He makes characters like Baby Firefly and Captain Spaulding. All these people they didn't exist until he made them, and they are everywhere within the genre. And Doomhead, I don't think gets enough love, because this guy, he's really intelligent. Like, he's a smart guy. Like, you could tell he's smart. Like, he's intelligent, but he has, a rage that he has emotional problems. And you could tell he's, one of those people that was just, a shade away from being, he could have worked for if you would have went this way, you could have worked for NASA. But you just kind of deviated, and now you're, this really smart but rageful guy. Just, and super, he makes jokes, just very sarcastic, just... Man, he is a beast. I loved how it showed him getting ready, how he's wiping grease paint all over, and he just starts punching himself in the face and he's bleeding. You're like, this guy's scary.
Yeah, he is scary. I would not. It's so weird too because he's just a skinny ass country boy. Like, you don't think he's that intimidating, but I'll tell you what, he's fucking scary. I would not want that dude coming at me
with them two knives,
yeah,
bro.
You're that. No. Why don't you hit us with a quick synopsis? Tell us what this movie is and what it's about.
Okay, so really quick, folks. We have a gang of carnies, and these carnies are good people. They're fun people, and they are traveling, and they get kidnapped, we'll say, and they get placed into this place called the Murder World. And what the Murder World is, they are put in this place where they have to play the game called 31. And 31 is where they have 5 or 6 of these, we'll just say hostages, so to speak, or victims. And what they do is like these people came out. It was Malcolm McDowell, which was really cool, but they came out in like powdered wigs and all paint, like it looks like some 1700s shit. And they come out and they tell all these people that are tied up, like, you're about to play the game 31. You have to stay alive. What was it, 24 hours?
24 hours.
You got to stay alive 24 hours. And what these people do is they send out killers that they've hired. So they bring in these people, and they have fun nicknames like Doomhead, Sickhead, all kinds of fun shit. And the name of the game is to see how long you can stay alive. And sometimes the killers die, and if one of the killers dies, they'll send out the next killer. And like each time it gets like worse and like crazier. And Doomhead's kind of like their closing pitcher, if you will. He's the guy that comes in to clean up at the end because he's nuts. So, that the time's going on, and throughout the time they're like announcing how much time they have left. So they're trying to stay alive for this 24 hours as a wave of killers. Infinite amount of killers come out to get them. There's chainsaws with clowns. There is a little person who looks like Hitler, actually Hitler, like with the mustache. He's wearing Nazi stuff, and he's fluent Spanish speaking. So
it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But
not at all.
He's my favorite one, though. He's the most entertaining. He's hilarious.
He's super fun. I don't know that actor's name, but I've seen him at conventions before, and I haven't walked up and talked to him, but I've seen him like interacting with people. He seems like a really fun guy. He all smiles. But he crushed that role,
Dude,
man.
He did.
He's freaky.
He is freaky, man. I love how he imitates you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking get you. I'm gonna fucking get you.
I'm gonna fucking get you. Yeah, that's so like mocking pisses people off at any age. I don't care how old
he's a
you
little
are.
shit talker, man, but he'll sneak up on you. He's like Chucky style, like. What are you going to do? It's a midget. Dude, he sneaks around everywhere. He knows exactly what's going on. He'll fuck you up.
That's not the word. You can't say that anymore.
Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying...
What is the proper term?
I think I saw a thing recently where they say the M word is like the N word to them.
No, it's not.
That's what they said. I saw them say it, not me say it, not big people, little people. I saw little people collectively say that, and I was like, all right, if it's like it really gonna get you.
Okay, this short guy is hilarious. Okay, let's give you this short man is hilarious. Let's say that.
Yeah, just the man. Yeah, I like that.
Short man.
The little fella.
Don't see that's the meaning with the little fella. That's what you call kid.
That's true. No, I don't call a kid a fella.
We're going to. Okay, so this short fella, we'll combine the two. Okay, this short fella is great. I love how. I think I've heard this before, where people wish there were subtitles of what he was saying. I don't. I think it's hilarious because I don't know what he's saying.
I did have the subtitles actually, which is weird. Yeah, I don't know why mine had it.
I didn't have subtitles when he spoke Spanish, but just when Sherry Moon Charlie, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, when she's trying to say number 4, and then the short fella is backing her up, and they're like going at each other, just talking smack like in Spanish. It's just hilarious to me. Like I have no idea what they're saying, but they're just bickering back and forth.
In hindsight, now that I'm looking at it, this short fella, the whole time what he is saying to these people in Spanish is like the F word for gay people. He's calling people like little pussies and bitches. Like, so he's like coming in heavy. So, and he's dressed as a Nazi. So I don't think we've offended him. He seems like a fun time, but he's something else. He's a character that you couldn't make up. A Spanish speaking little person Nazi. He just throws off your whole, he's like, and that actor, he was also in 3 from Hell. He was, he kind of saved everybody at the end. And he's a great actor, but, man, that like character, you'd be like, let's talk. What's going on with you, man? Like, you seem very, like,
just imagine if somebody came up to you with that on paper. It's like, okay, so the first guy, he's a short person, he's a Nazi, and he speaks fluent Spanish. What?
All right.
I don't know how. I feel like they just put a bunch of ideas on a wall and just threw stuff at it, and then whatever it landed on made him up.
Yeah, with Rob, I don't think he knew. Oh, he didn't know that he spoke Spanish fluently beforehand, and then like just being around him, he found out, and he was like, "Nah, we gotta incorporate this because it makes no sense." It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, man, he was. I don't know if it's hard to pick my favorite killer Because there's quite a few killers. You had like that big German guy with his like baby girlfriend.
Yeah, that was Sex and Death. I think they called each other. Well, I said every time there's a German guy and he yells in German, but then like when he comes at you, he goes, "I will fuck you." They always say that. "I'm gonna fuck you."
And long blonde hair.
Yep.
You know, it's the same recipe. Bad guy from Die Hard. It works every time. You know, it just works every time.
It does. The Germans are always the bad guys. Which I'm offended because I'm pretty much German.
Yeah, man. That's not cool. That's not cool. Yeah, you know that girl, his girlfriend, that's the girl. She's like the voice actress, E.G. Daily. I mean, she's done a lot of movies too, but that was Tommy Pickles. You remember Tommy Pickles from Rugrats?
I remember Tommy Pickles.
Yep. She does his voice.
Yeah, she's fine.
It's a lot of fun, Mark. I think that these people all worked great together. So who else are some of our killers here? Obviously, Doomhead. We've discussed him. And then we have the Chainsaw Brothers, the clown. They're painted as clowns. And they just talk, they're like hillbillies that talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, they're hillbilly rednecks talking about fucking pretty much anything that has a hole.
Yeah.
So gets real gritty. It's a very real gritty movie. I'm like, this is per capita of Rob Zombie of what you expect. Very gritty, very dirty, very grimy.
Probably the most of that out of any of his movies, if we're being fair.
Oh, yeah. Take a chainsaw to some girl's vagina, just kill her. Their little sex doll that they made in the beginning of it. I probably would have fell for that.
Yeah, I would have too.
Like, oh, shit. Like, one, because, like, I don't know if I could let somebody lay there, but two, it'd be like, okay, like, if I get you alive, that's somebody else that will attack. You know, like a little decoy there.
I'm
Shit,
faster than you.
Yeah, I'm very faster.
And my
than
conscience is clear at this point because I tried to save you.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. I like that. You're not throwing them to the bear, but you know.
Yeah, but John, you know, you did your good deed, and then, you know, think about yourself here.
Exactly. Jeff Daniels Phillips' character, Roscoe, got so pissed. Well, you know, he's like, "Ah,
I knew it!
It's
I
a
didn't trust this bitch!
Why the fuck don't more people listen to me?" Like, everybody's had that moment.
Oh, yeah. I have that moment every day, dude.
I love him as an actor because, honestly, you could see that, like, almost as, like, oh, I don't know if someone would react that way, but 100% they would, because he's like kind of losing it, trying to be a good guy, but at the same time, he knows shit's coming. So he's like, we got to put a game face on, or we're going to die.
Yeah, 100%. I love him in the van in the beginning before they get there, and he's just trying to talk about his gorilla idea. And he's got that ditzy girl talking about it. He's like 3 times, like every time she speaks, like, will you shut the fuck up for 2 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, he's another beautiful set of teeth, along with Richard Brake and myself. Like, when Richard Brake's character, Doomhead, charges Roscoe, that was the battle of the teeth. The strongest teeth survive. And I'm fit for the subject, you know. Now, honestly, I think that's, like, Richard Brake's best character asset as an actor, is his teeth. He's got those crazy teeth, and he's scary, bro. Like, if that guy was in your window, you'd be freaked out.
I would be. And I'd also be like, he brushes at least 3 times a day. Everybody has perfect...
Fuck. I mean, he was great in that role, too, in Halloween.
Oh, man. I love him in every movie. It's good. Like I said, it's like a comforting thing. It's like an Adam Sandler horror movie. Like, you get all your familiar faces, you feel comfortable. This is very... I don't know. A lot of people say they don't like this, but I don't think they look at it in the right way. I don't think they're going in. I think they're going in for like a movie, a story, character development, and all this stuff. It's like, nah, this is just straight up fun ass hour and 40 minutes of just crazy shit. I like the idea. It's a good premise.
Very good premise.
I mean, you got characters that like are unforgettable, characters that you like. I guarantee you, everybody has a different favorite killer. It's not all one-sided. Obviously, Doomhead's probably everybody's favorite because he's the most badass, but I'm sure people prefer the Chainsaw Brothers over Doomhead, or they prefer Sex and Death over that, or
what was the Nazi guy's name?
Ooh, I don't know.
All right, we're looking here because that's gonna... Okay, so Pancho Moeller is his name, and he was Sickhead.
Sickhead. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Sickhead. That's right.
Pancho.
Sickhead.
Well,
yeah, like I said, Sickhead's my favorite. He's the most entertaining one.
Yeah, and he like when he was dragging both those knives down the hallway, they were like size. You know, like I was like, whoa, man.
Oh, I'm gonna get you.
He said, "You little fucking chihuahua."
He was just so crazy. Like his craziness is contagious. Like if that dude was in a haunted house, I would be the shit. But
he would.
I love just him talking. Just I think his fluent Spanish made him the most fun. It's like, okay, go run along, number 5. I'm gonna go kill number 4 now. Go run and hide. Go on.
Yeah, I don't. Let's see what the scent this young man is, because Pancho is. Oh, he's from Chile. So okay, so that's probably why he speaks Spanish.
That could be a very good assumption.
That's a badass name, Pancho. I'm jealous. Mom and Dad, fuck you for not naming me Pancho.
He probably stays dry in the rain.
He do. He don't get wet.
So, Christian Ramey.
Yes.
First of all, how would you react to these in certain situations? What would you do? Let's say you're at the gas station and the hot little young thing comes up to you, starts asking you questions if you're going hunting in the middle of nowhere. If you got a bunch of guns, would you say no? Try and flirt with her like he did? Or would you say, yeah, we got a shit ton of guns in here? Because that's what she's doing. She's checking to see if they're obtainable or not. Mm-hmm. Which he spills the beans like, no, we got an old rusty shotgun in there. That's just mainly to prop open the window.
Generally, people annoy me, so like I'm like not gonna talk to them probably. Like,
yeah, me too.
I'm gonna give them like a real like get the fuck away from me face.
Nah, just real short answers. You hit them with short answers so they go away, and it usually takes about a minute or two.
You got a bunch of guns in here? Man, we do practice the Second Amendment.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Not just that, just we do practice the Second Amendment.
That is intimidating.
Well, you can't out creep a creep, okay? If people come to Ozark Mark's house with masks on and shit, they're not gonna scare him. They're gonna piss him off. But even if they had Ozark Mark tied up, taped up, he'd be talking shit the whole way out. Your mask is stupid. like, that's just what Mark's gonna do, and I support that because I feel the same way. So I think you and I would have felt some kind of like, what the fuck kind of question is that? Like,
okay, all right, the barricade. When they got to the barricade, would you just drive through it? You're in a fucking big-ass fucking van.
I would have attempted it.
I would have just drove right through that shit.
I would have attempted
it. Was just sticks and hay. I'm not going to go over there and move it out of the way. Fuck no, I'm in the middle of nowhere on Halloween. There's obviously a reason that this is here. People aren't fucking around.
Mm-hmm. But even if you were in reverse, just stay in motion.
Yeah.
Just stay in motion.
Do not stay there.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to go. You got to swing that around. Now, the real questions would be, Mark, if you were in this situation, what are you looking for? What are you going for? Because honestly, I think it would honestly be quite easy to survive, especially if you hid. Like if you hid and that was your route and you would make sure that like your back is up against solid metal that can't be pierced and you're not going to be stabbed. Like if you just had like a giant structure behind you and you were just here with some kind of something.
Well, I mean, you could see their weapons are very limited. That kind of sucks. So it's going to be close combat no matter what. Mm-hmm. Also, you have to factor into the fact that they're watching you. They have the ability to see you at all times. So if you just hide the whole time, you can't hide for 24 hours in a place of killers who know this area. They're going to be able to check any which way. They're going to be able to hear you. They're going to be see you. So that hiding is really not the best option. I say keep moving, but definitely move in groups of 2 at least. Don't wander off by yourself because you will get fucked if you go off by yourself. 2-on-1 is great odds. 2-on-1 is great odds.
We're definitely going to be together, and I want to get the high ground because the high ground always wins.
Well, I would just get into more open areas. I want to go down, stay in close corridors for too long because you back to the back, you have to see them coming in some way, shape, or form, or hear them. Like the first guy, Sickhead, Obviously, don't go into any places where there's a lot of low places that he can crawl, because he did that. He crawled under stalls. He crawled in everywhere. He closed his doors. Yeah, when you just go, like that's not gonna work. Moment. You got to get into open areas and ready to just fucking murder.
But that wasn't high ground. I'm talking like the ceiling. I'm talking like I'm hanging on an I-beam. Like,
I mean, you can't hang for 24 hours. No,
well, sit on the I-beam. Like you find a way. You find a way up there. I'm telling you, we'll crawl in the AC ducts. We will die hard this. My knowledge of Die Hard shows me that I can climb through the constructs of this building and make it through safety. Now, I do agree with battle. We need open areas because, let's be honest, you're coming at me with a chainsaw, we're going to win that fight. We're going to win that fight every time.
A chainsaw is a horrible weapon.
Oh, for sure, bro, because especially you got to catch me. And if you're worried about me, what's stopping Ozark Mark from hitting you in the fucking head with a lead pipe?
That's what I mean. He was just swinging it back and forth. Like, okay, just wait for him to swing the next swing. Go in there and just bat him real quick. He's going to take a second to swing again and then bang. It's just not a lot of quickness that was there. But they were injured. I get that. So, but, you got to make it through. I feel like Sick had just 2-on-1, long range. All he has is knives. You need a long range like a bat to start wearing them down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The chainsaws, it doesn't take long. Just keep your distance from a chainsaw. Because he's going to, 2-on-1, somebody with a chainsaw, you're going to get fucked. So, would you take the chainsaw after you got one?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Because it's like nobody can get up and stab you. Because, like, for the most part, nobody's had a gun. So, they're not going to shoot you. And unless they're shooting, like, bow and arrows or something, you're pretty much good.
Yeah, it was all hand-to-hand, blunt object combat, really.
Right, so you fire that sucker up and you're like, all right, come on in. Mm-hmm. And it's going to deter. It's going to deter.
Yeah. I
think we would win. I'm not going to lie. I think if you had just a bunch of dudes in there, just because the fight or flight, you're going to kill me? Well, we're at least going to try to go out. And I think they were very smart in picking like older people, like people of all, because if it's like a bunch of young dudes, like take like a bunch of younger dudes and put them in there. I mean, ladies too, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, I don't think this situation would go.
It all just depends on how quickly we find each other as well, because they put you all in random by yourself.
Uh-huh.
So we'd have to find each other.
Would you be yelling?
I don't know, because I don't want them to find me by one-on-one. I'm confident I can get away with one-on-one, but the odds severely deter when you're by yourself in a unknown area versus someone who knows it. It's like guerrilla warfare and shit in there. They know exactly where it is. Everything is.
I know. I feel like my overconfidence, I would be talking so much shit. Like, I'd be like, I'm right here. Like, you know what I mean? Because I just am not, fuck the shit. I'm not a mouse. We're not doing, you want to fucking fight me? Come in here. I'm gonna be loud enough so everyone hears me.
Well, but the biggest key in surviving is making it to Doomhead uninjured.
That's a good point.
Mostly every time you get to Doomhead, he bats clean up. He's just got 2 knives. That's all he's got 2. He's just a skinny dude. Like, 2, if you're still in full hell, I'm thinking about like a video game or something, but still, I mean, it's like if you're mostly unharmed, because he just comes in when you're just fucked up and you got nothing else to do. Like, you're all battle wound and you're exhausted, so he just comes in and just does his little dialogue and then stabs you.
Would you try battle strategies? Like, would you,
Dude,
like,
I'd be trying everything.
What if I said, all right, I'm gonna, like, we're together, and we gotta, say we got 3 hours left, and there's this guy. I would say, all right, I'm going to stand here in the middle, Mark, and I'm going to be talking a bunch of shit. And then once he comes after me, that's when you got to pop in, okay? That's when you got to pop in, all right? I need your help at that time.
Well, sure.
But, I think that we could come up with some kind of, flank him.
Mm-hmm.
I just think I would be so angry, because that's not what I'd want to be doing that day. Are you fucking kidding me? Get me out of here right now. Hey, no. You got the keys? I swear to, and we just dad rage our way out of here. Like,
I love how they announce the odds after every killer.
That was a fun part. They gave odds for each person.
Yeah, and one of the best parts is when I think his name was Jeff Daniel Phillips.
Roscoe.
Roscoe. After he gets injured, they come out the odds, and most of them have been like 500 to 1, 40 to 1, 300 to 1. I think his was like 100 to 1 before, and after he got injured and can barely do anything, they go 1 million to 1. And then you hear that, like, fuck. You know you're fucked once you hear your odds. I would feel confident. I feel like we'd be like 10 to 1.
I do too, man. I do too. My anger would pull me through. They might hire us at the end of it. They're like, hey, man.
How much you paying?
Yeah. Can we, like, pick...
If I could do... Would you do that? If you knew you could do that once a year and get away with it, not go to jail or anything.
Were they piece of shit people that were killing? Are they good people?
You don't know that.
Oh, then I couldn't.
You don't know that, but they'd be paying you like, I don't know, $3 million, $1 million.
If these people were like pedophiles, if they were like child abusers, if they
you don't
were like
know.
abusers,
I mean, the last one was a priest and his wife. Before these people, before the crew that we followed got in there.
I know, that's true. I couldn't do it on a random whim, but if they were bad people, I would ask to be on the waiting list. You know, it's like, oh, bro.
What would your name be? It's got to be something head.
Mm-hmm. Drop Dead Head.
Drop Dead Head?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What would your weapon be?
Freddy Krueger glove.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one, man. Would you have the double gloves or just one glove?
Now, that would be cool.
The
double
gloves.
glove. You could come in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bro.
Why not stock up?
Yeah, double glove. Yeah, that's a nice little touch. What do you think you would go with?
I will tell you. But first, we got to get into this little segment here. Plop. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is the segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. Now, if this is your first time here, hello to you. We're going to tell you things that we know. Now, if you know what we know, you're going to have a we know-gasm again. But if you don't know what we know, you're going to have an intense we know-gasm. It's going to be like your first time and you're discovering, you're going to fucking love it. So, why don't you tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie, Robert Zombie's 31? What do you know here?
You want to know a little something about this movie?
That's what I asked you.
Look here. There's all kinds of stuff I can get into here, but there's one little fact that I liked. There was one thing, you know, sometimes it's nice to know about the actors, what's going on in their life.
Sure.
You know, it adds a little touch there.
Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, Sherry Moon Zombie,
Yeah.
throughout this movie, she was trying to stop smoking.
Why in the fuck would you want to do that?
Well, exactly. Yeah, so you can see that. So she looks all crazy and pissed off, and you know, it added to her character. This was a nice little touch that we had.
That would be a good day to show some real anger. I'd be pissed off too if I'm working out here in the
sure.
middle of nowhere in a murder house in a movie and then I can't smoke.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's a lot of waiting in movie making, I guarantee you that. In film productions and audio-visual world, it's a lot of hurry up and sit and wait.
And you know somebody's smoking.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're just sitting there by yourself
So-
with your thumb up your ass.
Yeah, I know.
What are you gonna do?
Probably your hair or something. Here we go.
What do you know about this
I
movie?
know something about this movie here. Now, this movie is called 31. Now, you might be thinking, why is this movie called 31? See, what happened was Robert Zombie, he went down a little rabbit hole of research and, you know, fun little facts like this segment here. And he's like, you know, most people in the world, or at least the United States or something, I don't know which one it was, I forget, but most people go missing on Halloween.
Whoa.
Guess
That's a
what
weird little
Halloween is? 31.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens on Halloween. So the movie's called 31 because most people go missing on Halloween. And guess what? All of these people went missing because they got murdered by Nazis, clowns, weird German couples, and a doomhead. And
Yeah.
weird people in wigs
And
betting.
hillbillies. Yeah, there was all kinds of people in
There's crazy people in there.
Now,
There's something for your ass. You know something else here?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Speaking of asses, there was a moment where Doomhead guys penetrating the ass of this lady.
Yes.
They're doing butt stuff, okay? You're like, whoa, this is raunchy for a little program here, fellas. Well, look, I didn't make the movie. I'm just telling you.
There's no penetration. You can find that on HBO.
Oh, for sure. You're not seeing it, but that is implied that they are doing butt sex, but they're watching a scary movie while they're doing the butt sex. You know what that scary movie is?
The Revenge of the Plumber.
No. It is F.W. Murnau's classic Nosferatu. The first, vampire movie. The classic vampire movie.
That seems like a good butt stuff movie. Yeah.
See, that's Nosferatu. That's the face with the ears and the...
So every time you see Nosferatu, think of butt stuff.
Exactly. And I think that's all I got. What about you? You got something else?
No, that's all I got.
Well, that's good facts. 3 facts for you.
3 facts on 31.
31.
Bam.
Oh. Let's just be honest, Mark.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do in the situation in 31 when you gotta go to the bathroom? Like, if you gotta shit, what are you gonna do?
There were toilets there.
Oh, there were. Yeah, well, there was.
Just go around the corner and just shit it out real quick. Who cares?
I'm trying to be worried about all aspects of the situation here. Okay, they're feeding us people, at least. All right, we got food. I can eat that. That's fine.
You're not going to eat people. Shut up.
If you didn't know until afterwards, what are you going to do?
You're probably going to puke it up like they did. If you found out you just ate human meat, I think you'd be trying to throw it up.
If it was already prepared, and I don't know. It wasn't my fault, okay? But that is true. It's only 24 hours. But I wouldn't think we would need...
I don't think we would need I don't think I would have much of an appetite anyway. I might get thirsty, but no.
Now, would your percentages of living go up if they gave you alcohol?
No, it would go down.
Okay.
It would go way down.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you drink said alcohol, any of it?
No.
Okay.
I would need to be focused at all time. I don't need to escape or numb the feeling to forget where I am. No,
I agree. I'd take coffee. Just every room you go, they got a coffee pot. This is actually helpful, guys. I don't know who's running this, but this was a good feature.
Is that a Keurig? Is that donut shop?
All right. You guys got
coffee.
Oh, they got cream.
Anything with energy, obviously, I would take. But no, alcohol is to dumb me down. Now, it might not. If I was injured, then yes, I would have to. But if I'm not injured, I need 100% focus because I'm trying to get out of here fucking alive. Because it would definitely impair your judgment. You'd make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you made a mistake drinking?
Every time.
The simplest fucking act. Putting something in a microwave. I fucked that up multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You stub your toe everywhere you go. I can't be out there stubbing my toes. I got to murder people.
It's true, man. That's true. I think I don't want to live this situation out, but I want to try it. Whoa.
Thank you so much for putting your headphones on halfway through the episode again.
No, I had them on.
How were you? Okay.
It was when the gentleman came in. They put,
there's really no purpose for you because you're not producing it. So it's just what people do on a podcast.
No, it makes me feel more comfortable. I felt weird without them.
Maybe your ears were hot.
Yeah. Well, I needed this. This enclosure, like the murder house, or not the murder house, the murder world, if you will.
What weapon would you choose? Now, keep them up from the weapon. I guess we'll go from the weapons that they had.
Whatever's the longest. The bat's good. The pipe's good. Whatever's the longest. Whatever can get me some distance, because we're not short people. You're not gonna get it in one shot. You got to keep your distance because they all have short range weapons, except for I think Death, the big German guy. He had a big long bat. Yeah. Now, if we were going strategy, I think I don't know. Maybe we would give our weakest member of the group the longest to keep them away, and then we could kind of have more of the kill. Going for the kill. As long as they can kind of distract them and we can overpower them, we'll go in with the kill. Because also, it's for the sake of a movie. But if there's this classic age-old question of would you rather be killed by a panther or a bear or you always want to go the cat, because the cat is going to come and bite your neck and kill you. immediately. Like, they kill you. A bear is just going to start eating whatever it grabs. Like, arm. Like, it's scary. Scary. It's like, eat my face first, bro. Like, eat my head. Like, I'm trying to go right now. Like, no, I'm gonna eat your feet. But a cat, they'll kill you precisely. So I think if we were going for it, it would be messy, but I think it'd be quite quick. Just 2 or 3 shots to the jugular. Just, yeah, he's done. Yeah, all right. Next.
Yeah, anything towards the neck.
Because nobody had any armor on. Nobody had any kind of armor or shields. Like, now, if they were in suits of armor, we'd be screwed. Like, we would be, they're heavy, but...
Yeah, but, pretty much, I'm sure they're on some kind of drugs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to take a couple extra whacks. Mm-hmm. Dude, Doomhead, I'm telling you what, though. Doomhead's opening dialogue, when he just walks in, probably one of my favorite dialogues in horror movies.
You know what
just
they
the
say?
Whole thing.
People in hell love popcorn.
Baddest. I love it. It's like, let's get one thing straight. I ain't no fucking clown.
Ain't no clown.
I might have this pain face on, but I ain't no fucking clown. Like, dude, what? If you're gonna die, at least you got a monologue from him or something,
Yeah, well, once he's smart, here's the thing. I have the same thing. Rob has these characters, these, fringe characters like Otis. He reminds me of that, where he's, smart. He's actually a smart guy, and he's, got all these kind of wild theories or whatever, but, if he had me tied up and he's, the constructs of how everything is built, you'd be like, hey, you're kind of right, man. Even though you're about to kill me, I kind of agree with you, man. Fuck people. People suck.
Did you know that if you cut a roach's head off, it tries to live for at least another 3 hours? No, that is very interesting. Please tell me more.
Oh, that's weird, man. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. This intrigues me. It intrigues me too, man.
That is kind of neat.
I must apologize in advance for not sharpening this. Might take a couple extra whacks. That's fine. Hey, we can't all be perfect, man.
Hey, man, that's cool, dude. Look, just try to go for
that's
it.
That's such a dope line, though. Coming somebody with an axe, and I apologize for not sharpening this.
Folks, let me lay this out for you. If you were to ever buy Ozark Mark a present, an axe would be a great present. This man, I feel like if you were really going to go out, you would have an axe. If you saw an axe, that's your, one grab, and that's it. You're like, this is what I have now. Because you're an axe kind of guy. You like axes. You have an eye for axes. Patrick Bateman's axe.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful axe.
Oh, it is, bro. It is. But you made me kind of notice that. I just always noticed there was an axe in the scene, but you noticed, you were like, that's a beautiful axe.
Dude, it is. It's shiny. It's like a mirror. That thing's dope.
Yeah. So, there you go, folks.
I love axes, yeah, but it's kind of slow, though. I don't think that would be my go-to weapon. I think I would have an axe on the back, but you need some short-range weapons, too, if I was a killer.
You got to do that hand motion, too, where it's it's like a baseball swing.
Oh, yeah. Just good. Just do the reach around. Just bam. Get a lot of force in with that. What's your favorite part, Christian Ramey?
Oh, my favorite part.
Yes.
Let's see here. I think my favorite part would be watching the crew of Malcolm McDowell and these powdered wig people getting ready for this fancy event. I would say the giving the odds of the people and laying everything down. I just thought that was I don't know. It's the extreme version of Hunger Games or something. It's just this crazy kind of whoa. I've never even my brain doesn't think that way. I wouldn't have thought of that. And I was that's kind of interesting.
It's who are these people? Who are these elite 3 people? It's only 3 of you?
Yeah, it's
you're betting millions of dollars.
You remember in wrestling when they would have the chamber, where the timer would go off and then the chamber door would open? It was kind of like that, but in a murder place with killers.
Yeah.
It's damn, bro, you just got to survive the whole time because they've got people and they're gonna keep sending them. And I can't imagine they're gonna get nicer.
No.
Now, real quick. Now, if you could, what if you got the killer, but you just held him down? Everybody just held him down because they can't send out a new killer. Disable him.
No, they can. They could do whatever they want. They just don't. I'm sure they would.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like, I would try to beat the game a little bit because he's not dead yet. Like, let's just say if we took Poncho's character and everybody grabbed a limb and we're just not fucking letting go. Like, we're not going. And then we just, punch him in the beanbag a couple times. You smack him in the face and we just tell the people, like, you can send out some more people. But we ain't letting go of this one. And we beat the game. Okay? He's not dead yet.
It wouldn't work. They would just send somebody else out.
Okay, well then now we're using, the other people against each other, multiple killers at one. This would be a thing.
No, we wouldn't want multiple killers. You want one at a time.
Well, we want them to fight each other.
They're not going to fight each other. It's not like, drugged up hobos or something just fighting randomly. No.
They want the paycheck, Mark.
Yeah. And they get it by participating. They get the paycheck by being there. So,
that's true.
They're not going to fight each other.
What was your favorite part?
I really like the opening monologue with Doomhead a lot, but we've already talked about that, so I'm going to try to pick something else. I always wish I had a Rastafarian friend.
Yeah, man,
that would be awesome, cool. But I like the part when they start the platters there and he starts eating people. It's like, man, it just look as good as my mama's cooking. He's like, after just he doing it on an empty stomach. Like, just his whole dialogue there was great. And then they find out they're eating people. That was a cool little twist that they did. Because I was like, oh, I would definitely eat, And then I found out it's people. And like, I'm not doing that,
How mad did Doomhead get once he realized he didn't kill her in time for the timer? He was just like, motherfucker! He cussed her out and just left. Like, cunty bitch. He just walked away. Like, it's like, oh my.
Yeah, I was surprised he did. Mm-hmm. Well, but he finds her eventually again. And
he's all about the sport, though. Like, he's really all about the sport because, even when they find Venus, the old lady that he had killed, and he said, kind of some of the Art of War stuff, all battles are won before they're fought, Yeah. And he says, I'll give you a moment to, pay respects to your fallen comrade. And then he's just very crazy in that sense.
And the outside's open. Feel free to walk the grounds.
It's he's very much got a ego thing. He's I'm the champion. He's like, what? I'm not crazy. I'm in control. I'm not crazy. I'm in control. It's like, that doesn't sound like you sound crazy.
A little bit out of control, too.
Have you ever heard somebody yelling that from someplace? You're just like,
if you punch yourself repeatedly until your nose bleeds profusely, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could punch myself in the nose.
I know.
My arm wouldn't allow it. It would just still dull it down.
Doesn't the lip seem like the better option? If you had to.
Or how about just red paint? You got white paint, use red paint. What the fuck? You're clearly not an intelligent man. But
Doomhead, what are you doing, brother?
I want to know what this movie rates here on the world famous Floppy Horror Podcast rating.
Wow.
Floppy Horror rating, baby, yeah! Hey there. Welcome to the world famous, one and only, one of a kind, Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. We're going to rate this movie here on a scale of 1 to 10 in horror movie fashion. Not a regular movie, but in a horror movie. What makes a horror movie a horror movie? How are we going to do this? We're going to do this in a series of 3 categories. 3 categories worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1.4, a total of
10 points altogether.
That's correct. That's 4 categories, not 3. My bad. 3 for 3, 1 for 1. Okay. World famous Christian Ramey made this up. It's a great fucking rating. So let's get into the first category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
Well, Mark, this one was kind of hard because, I was thinking pretense on this. And I'm not saying, every Rob Zombie movie should be a 3 on casting, so I'm going to make it a 2.5. I really am, just because I really love everybody in this movie. And you have characters. They're all different characters. Sorry. There's Jamaican people. There's, clowns. There's, little people, Nazis. They're just all over the map. I thought all the killers did a great job. I thought the victims did a good job, but it served its point. If you're comparing this to, a Friday the 13th or a sleepaway camp, I think the acting's a little better than that. I think it's a lot better than that.
Well, there's not any real, intense dialogues except for Doomhead at the beginning and the end. That's all you got. So that's not worthy of 3, but 2.5. Okay, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. That's 2.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
I always like your help with this category because I think I'm numb to everything. And like you are too, but you're like usually a good outside of the box kind of person. We do have a wide variety of death, a smorgasbord. We got, right? Like, I mean, not maybe all the victims, because I don't know. I mean, what? There's probably, how many deaths you think are in here? 10, 12, 15?
Oh, let's see. There's 3 of them that die when they get initially kidnapped, I believe. They just get stabbed and beaten. Nothing special there, but it is death. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deaths in there throughout the battles.
And it's just chainsaws and knives.
It's
for the most part.
chainsaws, knives, and there's an axe kill to the stomach of a priest in the beginning there. No gunfire, but yeah, it's all stabbing and blunt object kills. So it's nothing too intensely gory, but they are kills. This whole movie is centered around killing, so it's there. I would go with a 2, maybe.
That's what I was thinking. A 2.
Because a 3 is like a 2.5 to a 3 is when you have to get very creative and the kills emphasize and have importance in the movie. The kills have to do forward the story, have to deal with shit. Like, no, these are just kills to kills. Like,
very
it's just
creative. You need like you just need more than stabs and chainsaws. Like, you got to give me something else that's a little bit
but
unique.
they are intense kills, and there's definitely a lot of kills in this.
2's not a bad score.
The gate's a 2 there, so that's 4.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the third and final 3-point category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
Obviously, we have a tougher time, you and I, with this category because we don't get afraid often. I wouldn't say there's a lot of pop scares. I feel like this could freak some kids out, maybe,
Yeah, but I mean, anything can freak a kid out. The Wizard of Oz can freak a kid out.
I think it's a 1 on fear level.
Sure.
I think 1 is a fair level.
1 because you do get kidnapped in the middle of nowhere, so there's the fear of not being in a weird land. There could be crazy people out there to kidnap you and stuff, so there are crazy people. It's more just gritty and fun,
and it is your life. Like, they're trying to get your life, so it's like you are fearing your mortality a little bit. You're like, okay, like it's not like a movie where there's no deaths, and so like sometimes you get that where there's no deaths, so it's like, how scary can this really be if I'm not afraid of dying?
Yeah, like, this is more just entertaining and fun.
Yeah,
just gritty, just
almost FUBU.
parental advisory CD type of shit here, So 1's fine with me.
Would you specify it as a FUBU, for us by us kind of?
Well, clearly, movie? Yeah. It's just a mindless, cool little story, cool little premise, cool to watch. It's cool to talk about too, and philosophize about what you would do and all that stuff. And a lot of people would probably want to try something like that.
Yeah, it's true, man. That is true.
Without the death, of course, but the fun of it. So that's 1. So that's 5.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the last 1-point category for half a point each on rewatchability. Christian Ramey, please.
I do find this movie rewatchable. It is a fun little movie. Sometimes you're in the mood for something that's you don't need to invest your whole life into. Sometimes you just want to pop something on. A lot of times what happens is, and especially with a lot of Rob Zombie's movies, you can find them a lot like on Tubi or Pluto or even sometimes like Shudder or whatever. There's just these random horror channels where his movies will be playing, and like I'll keep the horror channel on, and like if this one pops on, it's not like let me turn this off. No, you just get sucked into it. It's just it's just something that's quick. It's something that you need. It's a one-night stand. It's not necessarily something you're getting married to, but it's something great for the night. Just a Tostino's Party Pizza horror movie.
Oh, right. I love those things.
I do too. So yes. What about you, Mark? What would you say?
It's rewatchable. I've already rewatched it before. It's mindless. It's fun. There are fun characters in it that you love, that you want to come back for and make you laugh. Doomhead's great, killers are great. It's a fun little premise. It's a cool little premise, and I think it's cool to rewatch every once in a while.
It is kind of a thought-provoking premise. You're right. It does kind of like bring a conversation out in people because you're like...
And it's something just to put on. I mean, if you're just randomly trying to kill some time, like, oh, I haven't seen this in a while. I was excited to watch this again because I haven't seen it in a while.
There's very few movies where you can drink a couple beers with your buddy and watch because, like, sometimes you guys will be talking over it or you won't be able to pay attention. This is a good movie to have some beers and watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. So that's 1 point total. So that is 7.5 out of 10 for Robert Zombert's 31. Whoa, there you go. That's a solid rating for a solid movie on a solid podcast.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. I like this a lot. You see, what's coming up next, Mark, for these fine folks, is next week's episode. And honestly, I think we're contemplating doing this sucker live. I don't know. We're going to find out. But we're going to tally.
We'll do it live.
We're going to tally the scores of Eli Roth and Rob Zombie. And if you've been watching week after week, you kind of already know those scores, but some of you don't. And you can join us for the recap episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to, crown a winner to this thing. And does it mean that one or the other is a better director? No, not at all. It just means that these two movies scored better than these other two movies. And we could do this again with the same directors. We're not going to do that again next season, obviously, but this is the Splat Pack. That could come back. We could find more movies. We can go, that's the way this works. It's just these two, It's like a race. Everybody's got their day, and we'll see who wins,
That's a good philosophy on the way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
No, you know what I think is a lot of fun about this, too?
What's that, bud?
It's not just limited to directors, so we could really get into a lot of fun, I think, throughout. And I've loved the engagement that all of you guys have had with us throughout all of this. Firing back at me, like saying, I like these movies, I like those movies, or you'll defend your director. I like that, man. All you guys have, been very vocal about that, and that's been a lot of fun. And for all you new people that came to the Patreon, thank you so much for that, too. Very much appreciate it. And, we do try to give you a little backdrop before we do our new episodes every week, so you can at least know what they are. Mark usually will pull up some kind of image on the screen behind him so you can know what movie we're reviewing. So it's a nice little perk you can get there.
I do things to keep you clued in.
I've been doing this thing, bro.
All right. Well, with that, boys and girls, the Splat Pack battle is completed. So tune in next week for the finale of who the winner is and who is the king of the first battle of the Splat Pack.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we out this ma.
See you guys.